All right, welcome back everyone to another Potential Realized Athletic Enterprise video. I am Coach Drew, and I have another subject to bring to you guys today that has been kind of re-emphasized and brought to my attention over and over by the clients that I've been working with and some of the issues that we've been working through together. So once again, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any information that helps you reach your potential, and make sure that you give this video a thumbs up if it helps and if you enjoy the information contained. So we're going to focus on understanding one piece of information, and if you understand this, then you'll be able to make progress immediately in a lot of other areas. So what is this one thing that we're looking to understand? I will start by explaining how I encounter this on a daily basis in the gym. So what happens is we'll designate an exercise. Say, for example, we're doing front squats with a kettlebell. So we'll pick a kettlebell up, and as soon as the client picks the kettlebell up, they'll say, "Oh man, this is so heavy." I say, "Okay, we'll go ahead and do 10 reps. And they'll knock 10 repetitions out. And I'll say, "Okay, let's go ahead and get 5 more. They'll do another 5 and they'll set it down, and they'll re-emphasize and reiterate to me just how heavy the weight was. And I will say, "Okay, I know that was a heavy weight. However, if your life absolutely depended on it, could you have done 5 more? Could you have done 20 instead of 15? And they say, "Well, yeah, okay, if my life really depended on it, then yes, I could have done 5 more. What this means to me as a trainer and as a coach is that that weight is not actually heavy. Now, why would the client express that the weight is heavy if I feel that the weight isn't actually heavy? There's a disconnect between what I understand as an appropriate weight or resistance to make progress versus what the client understands is required in order to make progress. From the weight training perspective, if you can do 12 reps, 15 reps, 20 repetitions, it's not necessarily a heavy weight. If you can do 8 and 10 repetitions, you're now slowly starting to creep into the heavy range. If you can only do 5, 3, 2, or 1 single rep of that movement, that is actually heavy, okay? If your body has to exert its entire force and effort to accomplish this one time, and you only have enough for one time, then that is actually heavy. Okay, if you can only lift something 3 times, that is a heavy weight. If you can lift something for 10, 12, 15 repetitions, that weight is not actually heavy in comparison to what heavy is to your system. Now, we have a term for this in the gym, and what this term is called the rate of perceived exertion. This happens a lot with like cardio and running, or with like athletic exercises or workouts. Me, as the person who is working out, is going to feel, I'm going to perceive my exertion level probably at 8, 9, or 10. However, in reality, in what my system is actually capable of, I'm probably only at about a 5 or a 6. Now, why is this information important to understand, and how will this allow us to make progress in other areas? If your goal is to put muscle on, whoop, a little bit of camera slide there. If your goal is to put on muscle, then you have to lift within a certain repetition range, or your body has to exert a certain amount of force in order to trigger the muscle growth process. Growth in any area, in my opinion, is very much the same way. You have to do it with a certain force and intensity in order to actually get a result or any type of return from that movement. So when I hand a client a kettlebell and they say, "Oh wow, this is heavy," and they can actually do it for 12, 15 repetitions, what they actually mean is this is heavy in relation to holding absolutely nothing in my hand. It's not heavy in relation to what I am capable of lifting. It is heavy in relation to doing absolutely nothing. And this is a very, very important distinction to make. Is what you're doing stressful and difficult and heavy in comparison to absolutely nothing? Or is it stressful and heavy and difficult in comparison to what you are actually capable of? This is a huge distinction to make. And a lot of times in the gym, I'll encounter clients who aren't making progress. I don't know why I hit a wall and I can't move past this point. Well, it's because you're no longer lifting in relation to your body's maximum capacity or capability. You're lifting in relation to what you've always done. And what you've always done will not always get you results. That is extremely important to understand. There's another term, and it's called progressive overloading. And what this means is, as you continue to do things over time, the thing that you are doing must increase in difficulty. Otherwise, you're not giving your body any increased stimulus to respond to. So, in summary, what we're looking at here is called the rate of perceived exertion. How hard you think you're going is not as hard as you can actually go. Okay, this is very, very, very important to understand. If we're looking to grow in certain areas and we keep telling ourselves that this is difficult or this is trying, are we speaking in relation to doing nothing at all? Or are we speaking in relation to where we're actually trying to go? Because if I look at what I'm doing right now in my life in comparison to where eventually I want to go, where I want to go and what I want to be, that person does so much more than what I'm doing right now. So how could I possibly hope to do more if what I'm doing right now is overwhelming me? I have to understand that what I'm doing right now is not my maximum capacity. And I have to continue to hold my feet to the fire, so to speak. And I have to continue to push forward into uncomfortable areas because this is the only way that I can truly grow. So it's important to think, if I pick something up and I think, oh man, is this heavy? Is this heavy in relation to not holding anything in my hands? Or is this actually heavy in relation to what I'm capable of? So I hope this information helps. I hope we can take this little seed and allow it to grow into other areas. I hope we can take this information and look at maybe our business or our personal relationship or maybe a hobby that we're trying to get better at, or schooling, or our job, whatever the case may be. Is this difficult in relation to nothing or my, absolute pleasure? Or is this difficult in comparison to what I'm capable of, what my maximum capacity is? It's an important distinction to make. And the more realistic we can get with ourselves in being honest and making this distinction in all areas in life, the more we can start to operate closer to our maximum capacity, and we can stop telling ourselves that things are overly difficult or overly strenuous or overly heavy simply because we're thinking in relation to nothing at all or not holding any object. We want to make sure that we understand this distinction. If you can pick a weight up and you can do it for 15 to 20 reps, it's not actually heavy. If you can pick a weight up and you can only do 5 repetitions, 3 repetitions, then that is heavy. So we want to start to understand what is stressful, what is heavy, and be very realistic and honest with ourselves when it comes to evaluating our efforts. I think if we can do this, we will start to learn how to make a lot of progress in multiple areas of our life. So thank you again, guys, so much for tuning in to another video. I hope to be making a lot more workout focused videos here very soon. A lot of, I want to rehash over all of the exercise tutorials. I want to do those again, and start to get into a little bit of dumbbell, kettlebell and barbell workout tutorials as well. So feel free to hop in the comment section and let me know what exercise videos you guys would like. And also feel free to just share with the group where an area is where you feel like you've been overestimating your effort level and where you can start to be a little bit more realistic with ourselves. Maybe this is actually in the gym. Maybe this is weightlifting, or maybe this is our job or our personal projects or our relationships or whatever the case may be. So hopefully this gives you guys a little bit of clarity, a little bit more understanding. And once again, thank you all so much for tuning in to the video. I'd like to give a personal one-on-one shout out to Archie. Thank you so much, Archie. We've been sharing a little bit of communication back and forth through email. So I just wanted to continue to share a little bit of encouragement. Everybody give a shout out to Archie, all right? Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.